All right, guys. Shop Freaks here. Gonna try to go through a whole bunch of stuff. This video is going to be long, I think, but I'm gonna try to cover everything from measurements and all that kind of stuff. Unfortunately, I do not have a spinning machine. My truck's still over at the transmission shop, so I don't have any way to show you sparks right now. But I can show you kind of the main purpose of this guide here and what it's going to do for you. Um, all right, so basically what we start off with, when you're sharpening freehand, um, and you're coming across the plate and you're trying to traverse, you're using your elbow and you're using you're using your wrist, your elbow, your shoulder, and you're trying to maintain that, right on that radius. There's a lot of places there in there where you're going to have a possibility for human error. Trying to maintain perfectly on that radius line and keep it right in the middle of the synapse there. So what this machine does for you is it allows you to just set the palm of your hand on the guide here, okay? And all I have to do, it has a backstop over here, which I'll show you a little closer here in a minute when I get the phone off, or the camera off of the stand. I'll show you a little closer, but it's got a backstop. And the way that I do it is I set the backstop up to where when I set my hand down on this, my fingers go right in place. So it's instantly comfortable. As soon as I set my hand down, I'm in place on the plate. And you're going to have to get a feel for this, man. You're going to have to play with moving the machine back or moving the machine forward, which will require you to set your laser back up. As well, this backstop here, it may be too far back for you. You may not be comfortable with it, depending on how you rest your hand on this guide, on the palm rest on the guide. I'm setting these machines, all of them are set up just like this one is right now. The laser is about 3.5 or about 3 inches from the front face of the machine, and for the length of my fingers and the size of my hand and the way this machine is set up, that's the way I use mine. It's the way I use mine on my big machine with my 18th plate as well. This is going to be something you're going to have to feel out. The other thing is this is an older CS201, so the plate doesn't have a big wall. Okay, if you've got the newer CS2 or the newer 201 with the higher walls, your plate's going to be further down inside of the walls, okay? And you won't be able to get this thing as close to the plate as you will on this older style unit. That said, you can trim the metal pieces to where, the metal side guides to where you can set this thing down in there. It's just about how much work you want to do. In my truck, I have the newer model, and I have my machine mounted up. It's sitting right on the edges of the walls. So mine actually sets a whole lot higher than this particular guide is set up on this machine. But like I say, this thing is completely adjustable, and I'll get the camera closer in just a minute to show you the adjustments and all of the ways that you can adjust this thing. It's like infinitely adjustable. But anyway, what this is going to allow you to do is you're going to be able to set the blade down. I mean, as soon as you set your hand down on the palm, your palm on the guide there, you just set the blade down, and you are in place. Mosquitoes, mozzies as you Aussies call them, little bastards everywhere. Anyway, you'll be able to just set the blade down, right? And that's all it takes. I mean, you're in control of the blade the whole time. I've seen lots of guys that do a windshield wiper motion. Anytime you do something like that, what you're doing is you're altering the shape of that hollow. You've got to keep the blade directly, in the center of the synapse on that radius there. And you can't turn it that way. You can't turn it that way. You can't have a windshield wiper pattern. And I know that looks very aggravated when I'm showing you that, but I'm trying to show you that any of those little subtle things that you do that you don't keep the blade perfectly in line, it's going to cost you accuracy. It may only be, 1 or 2 blades out of 25, but it's going to cost you, So that's how I've gotten my accuracy level. I can do 50 blades, man. And if I get done with that whole batch of 50 and one of them doesn't test cut well, it's not because the grind's bad, unless I just didn't stay on the plate long enough. I've had that where I didn't let the blade clean up long enough. It didn't make enough passes. I've had that happen before. But as far as the accuracy of my hollow, I don't miss them, man. I don't miss them. I'm 100%. Very similar to your shot machine. It's got arms. It sets down, and it's not going to come out of that rate. It's going to be perfect every time. And sometimes you test a blade after you do it on a shot machine, and it misses too. But the long and short of it, this will bring your accuracy up a bunch. And if you're having problems with 2 or 3 blades out of 20, this is going to really help, guys. One more thing I want to say before I grab the camera and come over here and show you the adjustments is, when you first get this thing and you get it put on, then you start trying to adjust it where you want it. I'd say leave the machine just like it is, and I'll show you where to put these mounts, and set it up like I've got it set up now, okay? And then instantly you're gonna be able to just, set the blade down, and you see if you feel how it feels, how comfortable it is, just in that deal there, I'm very comfortable. In fact, I could actually probably bring this thing up another, probably inch and a half or so, and it would feel much more like it does in my truck, so you're just going to have to see what feels comfortable. The second thing is that I noticed when I first started using the HollowPro, and I know some of you guys have one, and if you'll chime in, I'm going to I'll put this video in a link on my forum. I'd like to hear some first-time stories when you first got your HollowPro, guys. How you felt about the whole situation. But for me, when I first started using this thing, and I come up with this whole concept, and I thought, man, this is going to be really cool. It's going to be so easy, and and I put my hand down, and I went, the first time, and I went, this doesn't feel right. My stroke was off bad enough to where being kept directly in line, because I can't mess up. My palm is on this. It's gonna make me stay in line. You know what I mean? You can see it, and I'll show you even closer when I'm up here on the side. But get closer. It feels awkward to be perfectly in line. Especially if you're used to having a little bit of a windshield wiper pattern, or whatever it may be. It's gonna take a smidgen of getting used to. But once you, the way I go about it is set the blade down on the plate, don't turn the machine on, set everything up, and try to traverse touching that plate. Go ahead and load some grit on your plate so you don't scratch your plate, but without the machine running, and just make some practice passes like this with it just flat, just flush to the plate. Then go ahead and click your machine on and get after it, man, and check it out. And if you're already using a rub block so you know what your patterns look like, if you don't have a rub block, you need to get one, man, because it's essential, man. It's absolutely essential to seeing what you got going on, to be able to diagnose if you got a blade that doesn't cut, And if you don't know how to do a rub pattern, or you don't want to know what a rub block is, send me a message, and I'll send you the video that I made of rub block stuff. In fact, if you've got a question about anything, pretty much anything you can think of, plate dressing, any of these type of things, I've got a video to cover it, man. And I'll send you a YouTube video to give you an idea, what the way I do it, at least. I'm not saying my way is the right way or the only way, but I'll show you how I go about dealing with it, and and I'm 100%, like I say, when it comes to my test blades, you know what I mean? Unless I got a bad spring, or unless I didn't catch a screw that was stripped a little bit and it's not keeping enough pressure, or I'm never off on my grind, like I say, unless I just didn't grind long enough. But anyway, all right, I've been blabbing enough from this distance, so let me get you up a little bit closer to the machine. And let's get a look at it from up close, and maybe that'll give you a little better idea of what we got going on. All right, so first of all, let's just take a look at the machine, and let's go over some adjustments. All right, you can see that I'm about probably 3/4 of an inch off the plate. I've got the flat button heads on there, so you could actually even get closer if you wanted to. The only thing is that your plate will joggle a little bit depending on the Nebraska machines. A lot of times the plate will actually be sitting kind of funky in there, you know what I mean? So you can actually adjust it to where one side's higher than the other. You can adjust it to your plate if your motor's kind of sitting off to the side like that. And a lot of times they are, because those little rubber bushings will start giving out. So basically, you've got a stop nut right here, okay? You're just going to loosen that stop nut like that, and you'll take another 3/4 screwdriver, or another 3/4 wrench, and you just turn this, and it turns it in the housing, and you can bring this whole thing up or down. You can come up probably 1.5 inches if you want to, and you can come all the way down another. You can come down until it scrapes the plate. You know what I mean? Either way, no issues on that. All right, and then the other thing is lengthwise. Lengthwise, never take this in loose. This bolt here, it doesn't ever need to come loose. There's no adjustment there. It's just the headpiece. It doesn't ever need to come loose. So never mess with that side of it. This is the side you're going to use to adjust length. You unscrew these 2 bolts right here, loosen them, and there's another, literally, I bet there's another 8 inches of this shaft in here. So if you've got a 96-inch plate, you can cover it, bro. But seriously, there is another. I think this thing from end to end is 18 inches, so there's another 6 inches in there. So that's the reason why whoever was asking about a Traco machine, I think this will fit a Traco too. I think pretty easily, because it's so adjustable height-wise and lengthwise. on that situation. So if you need to adjust the length, and the reason why you would do that is because, like you see here, I'm up against the machine button, that laser right there, or that magnet's button there, and I'm pretty much buttoned up there. So if I wanted to move this thing forward some, I'm going to have to lengthen this machine to get it to go further down this mount right here for this magnet to move that way. But like I say, try it where it's at first, guys. You know what I mean? Give it an idea. And I don't quite have these mounts on here just right because that one's sitting in the middle and this one's way up front, or this one's way over here. And what I'm going to suggest to you is when you make the mounts, let me set this back up here one more time so I can get this thing off of here. Is there anything else I want to show you on the HollowPro itself? Oh yeah, laser. Let's cover that real quick. Okay, your laser, of course, you've got this bottom set screw here, and that's going to allow you to move this laser line anywhere you want to. If you want to get it closer that way, you can get it closer that way. If you want to get it closer that way, you can get it closer that way. And as well, you can tilt the head that way, which will bring this laser further back or further that way, which I don't really think you need to mess with. It's pretty much right where it needs to be. I've got it set up where the laser's right at the edge of the plate. But, you know, it's adjustable in that manner. And then you can do this one here, and that's going to allow you to aim the laser that way or that way to get it straight with your guide. And you may not want it straight with your guide. I don't know. I'm just telling you, it's totally adjustable to whatever you want. And I think you probably ought to leave it kind of the way that it is when it comes to that situation. Let me see if I can find my tape measure and see what I did with it over here. No, yeah, there it goes. Tape measure, tape measure, tape measure. All right. So here's what we got. I'm going to show you real quick. Damn it. Sorry, guys. I'm not a professional photographer or whatever you want to call it. All right, so basically what we've got here is you're going to end up being about real close to 3 inches. If I get way up, you can see it. It's right about 2 3/4 of an inch or so. And back here, you're going to be right at about, if I get it right above, it's hard to see on camera, but the laser is about, like I say, 3 inches from here to there. And it's straight on both ends. That's kind of the way you're going to want to set your laser up. Now, as far as your mounts on your machine, what I was going to say, let me get the HollowPro off. That's another thing, guys. Just because this thing's mounted on a magnet, if you want to take it off to take your plate off, whatever, I suggest once you get it where you want it, you're going to take a black Sharpie and you're going to just scribe around your magnets. And then when you want to take it off, just pull, and the machine comes right off. That's it. It's off, right? Turn the damn laser off. You take it off. When you want to put it back on, set it. You're going to bump it right back inside your circle that you made with your black marker, and you're going to pop it right back where it was, and you're right back where you were at. No issues. But anyway, okay, so we get the machine off, and let's look at these mounts. Like I said, this machine's just a dummy. It's not got anything. It's not even actually got a motor in it. What I'm going to tell you to do is you're going to want to, these mounts, they just got 2 self-tapping screws. There's nothing inside this machine that you're going to hit by running these 2 self-tapping screws through the body, okay? You're going to make 2 extra holes in your machine, but it is what it is to get these mounts on here. They've got I'm actually using sheet metal screws that you use for a roof. It's got little rubber insulator gaskets. It won't come loose. It's not ever coming loose. But the way this works is, basically this is just an extension of this floor inside. It's level. If it's not exactly level, it's okay. But basically what you're going to do is you're going to level that thing up, and you can measure from the inside of the wall there, see how far down, and then measure it on the outside and make you a line if you want to get real crazy with it. But basically this right here is exactly the same as that floor in there. You want it level with that floor, whatever. If you've got the other machine with the taller wall, same thing. This needs to be level with that floor on the inside. My inside finger and my thumb are both touching in the exact same spot. From there, you're going to want to come in this outside edge. You're going to want to come in 1.5 to 2 inches. Doesn't have to be perfect, but from the corner, this inside edge right here needs to be 1.5 to 2 inches, you know, in that range. Okay. I would say probably just, let me see this. I got this one over here a little bit further out. This one over here is like 1.5 inches. Let me get the tape measure. Let's get an exact. I was being a knucklehead when I mounted this because I was in a hurry to get it on there. But let's see what we got here. Yep, that's looks like that's only like 1 inch and a quarter actually from the corner. And this one's not even, this one's 3/4 of an inch. Okay, so what I'm gonna say is that center of that shaft was way up here. You can mount 1.5 inches, and you can mount 1.5 inches. So from that corner to where this thing mounts here, you're gonna wanna go 1.5 inches and 1.5 inches. And what that's gonna do is gonna set that magnet right in the center of that on both sides at the length that I have the machine set up now, which is at from end to end. This machine's 25 inches long, and that's what it needs to be to fit on this box for, you know, a 16 or an 18-inch plate, doesn't matter. But it's going to be 25 inches long, and that's where you need to start, you know, adjusting. The other portion of it, I already showed you the backstop. Let's see if I can get over here in the light a little bit better. Okay, actually that one's not set up for it. Let me get another one of these here. When I built these things, I put the gantry setups. No, I didn't either. I didn't move that one yet. I got to move that one the other way. Let me get you one that I've already changed. See, these two here had this little white marker here. I got to switch both. I got to turn these things around to turn that gantry. All the other ones I've already switched. But what I did was I made the gantry mount that direction because if you need to at some point adjust, if this gantry were to ever get loose, you just go right down inside here, and these you turn. There's a nut right there, and that's how you tighten these gantries or loosen these gantries to get them to where there's no play in it. I don't think you'll have to do anything for a long time because the one I've got in my truck, I've never had to adjust the damn thing. So I can't imagine that you'll have to adjust one either. But there's that whole situation. Coming with the machine as well, you're going to have, let me get over here and light again. Sorry guys, I'm not a very good photographer, but I'm trying to get through this for you. Okay, you're going to have both your L-shaped magnet and your bigger round magnet. I'm going to use this L-shaped magnet on basically a number 5 blade down. You know, 5, 7, 10, all the way down to a 50. You know, or yeah, all the way down to a 50. I'm going to use this blade or this magnet here. This bigger magnet here is going to be for your, you know, your 5 and then up 4. You know, up that direction, 3 3/4, 5/8. The big blades are going to use this round one. I'll make another video when I've actually got some blades on my machine to show you how the magnets, how I actually mount them up. I've actually got some on YouTube already. It's also going to come with a battery charger and a 6-foot cable for your laser. These new lasers are kind of cool because they have rechargeable batteries in them. You don't have to worry about having a power cord hooked up all the time, but it's not going to hurt them to have a power cord hooked up all the time. And as you can see as well, you've got 6 of these self-tapping screws. You only need 4. I sent a couple extras just to make sure all was cool. Anyway, I think that's going to do it, guys. As far as, I can't throw sparks, like I say. I've got some more videos, and if you want to see it in action, I'll post another video on this thread where I'll post this video. And if you have any questions or you want me to go back and do something specific when it comes to you know, something video-wise, just tell me, and I'll go back through. I think I showed you all the adjustments, how to get the machine on, how to get the HollowPro on and off the machine, where the mounts need to go. I showed you exactly what we got going as far as that's concerned. You know what? Let me show you that real quick from a little closer up. I want to show you what the video is as long as it can be already, so it kind of doesn't matter. And I don't think I have it. Okay, so let's get a look at this. All right, so. Let me show you something here. Okay, so the blade, let's get down here and look. You can see, all right, right there, I'm in the middle of the snaps on that blade. When I sit down, you see where that laser's going to the top of that L-shaped magnet right there? And you can see I'm not quite straight. I'm looking through the camera instead of looking whatever. But what happens is, when you get on there and you set your hands on there, I can do this, and I can not even watch my fingers or whatever, and I can stay in line because it's the ball bearings. All I have to do is hold my fingers in the same spot. You know what I mean? I don't have to even, I'm not even looking at, I'm looking through the camera. And it's going to keep you directly in line. You don't ever want to have that or that. You don't want any kind of windshield wiper, but that's going to take all of that human error out of the equation, man. I'm like to say, once you get used to using this thing, bro, you'll never go back. Anyway, I think that's about all I got. If you have something else, maybe we got another video made up for it already, and if not, then I'll make another one if you got some specific questions, guys. So that's about it.